I'm Dave Ingalls. I'm the general manager of the facility here in Port Hope, and I've worked for Cameco for about 30 years. I actually started here as a student. Building 27 was kind of Canada's first UF6 plant that was built. It was built in the early 1970s, and it ran until the early 1980s actually, when we built the current UF6 plant. So at that time, that plant was decommissioned, but sat there for many decades actually, until recently when we were able to have an opportunity to take the building down and finally decommission it. Our site here, we make uranium hexafluoride, and UF6 is used as the feed material for enrichment for nuclear reactors around the world, for the fuel for nuclear reactors. And that was one of the key milestones of that project, was to remove that old building from our site and doing it safely. So that project is to really clean up our site, remove some redundant buildings from our site, improve the waterfront for the community to be able to enjoy the waterfront that we're on here in Port Hope.
Lauren Haynes, I'm the construction manager with the construction management team for technical services with Cameco, which is looking after the Vision in Motion project. It was really important to have a successful project with Building 27 being, decommissioned. Deconstructed is one of the words we use quite frequently. We know PDI is priestly demolition, but they essentially deconstructed this building very methodically. So there was a bulk accumulation of certain hazards because of the age of the building, and when it was built initially, asbestos was very prominent within the building, and plus all our radiological hazards. It was a UF6 plant, but it does utilize other uranium products to develop the UF6. So there was a hodgepodge of contamination within the building. We felt that we were in a position that we could safely bring in an outside contractor, which was Priestley, to successfully start deconstruction of the building and handling everything and sizing it to the requirements we needed to have it shipped and stored within the long-term waste management facility.
Since the waste was going to the long-term waste management facility, it had to be, every piece, every vessel, every pipe had to be split open. There could be no voids in anything that we sent. And it had to be cut to specific sizes. So there was processing that went on. We didn't just cut out big lines and throw them in bins. We had to cut everything down to specific sizes, load it into super sacks, weigh those super sacks, V-number those super sacks, and ship them out. And everything was recorded, from where that piece of equipment came, what floor it was on, what it used to be. Everything was recorded down to every single pipe. And in the end, we had in excess of 3,300 super sacks that were shipped off this site, that all asbestos paneling went in. There were very few bins of material. When it came to the structural steel, even some of that had to be processed down to small pieces and put into super sacks because it was so highly contaminated.
My name is Andrew Turk. I'm a project engineer at Cameco. I see engineering on the demolition piece. We had to develop a very methodical approach to removing all of the equipment inside the building in order to remove all the residual hazards and chemical hazards in the building. We developed a ventilation system, we developed scrubbers, we developed a few other systems to make sure that we were able to safely remove chemicals out of lines and vessels and go from there.
Cameco had developed internally engineering procedures as far as air quality in the building. There were, I think, 58 negative air machines set up in a huge ventilation system. All of our workers were in full-face respirators or half-face respirators while they worked there, Tyvek.
The support and the morale on site is incredible here at Cameco. Everyone is so supportive. Everyone is here to help each other. The help that we get from Cameco, knowing what we're going into, the contaminations that we're facing, so that we're aware when we go into the building as the torch crew, as the fire watch, as the cleaners, we know exactly what we're stepping into, how to prepare for it, how to deal with it. The morale on site is incredible. Everyone gets along really well. Everyone knows they're there as a team. We work as a team and we get the job done.
The workers in the building specifically had to, work as a team, so they were watching out for each other. Every day when they left, went through donning and doffing, decontamination as they left the building. They literally vacuumed each other off to make sure there was no residual product on them, which there was, to ensure that they didn't get any radiological uptakes or anything like that. I think the most important part is the collaboration with the client on this. We were following all of their procedures that happened on this project. The most dangerous part of taking away contamination and remove the interior. That was vital that we worked together. They had subject matter experts that could tell us what used to be in a vessel before we demolished it, to protect our workers and to deal with that material safely. We really worked together on developing all of the JHAs that were required, procedures that were required to do the demolition safely. I get a little choked up. I'm sorry. I was just really proud of them. They were a great group of people. Yeah, there's a lot of great people that worked on this project. Everybody from the guy that changed the 48 NAM filters every day to people who cleaned the lunchroom and made sure that we had drinking water and clean our washrooms, to the guy that made the last cut on the structure of that building. And it was, when that happened, we all cheered. It was great.